Hello and welcome to the LLW Revival Pod. Oh wait, wrong script. What's up? And welcome back to the SIRS podcast. We got your same four usual suspects, and joining us tonight, the man who brought the sus into ELU, the Mungus man himself, Soko. What's up, man?
I'm the Mungus man. Yo. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
For the people who aren't familiar with you, what's your story and what brought you to the ELU community, Soko?
All right. Y'all remember Scuffed?
Yeah.
So my friends were just like, "Oh, yo, Scuffed." I was like, "Hey," and then we did that, and then it didn't work out. And then ELU, and then drafted my Croc, and then LW, and then LW again, and
Hostage
then
situation.
RMC. Here we are. RMC. Let's go.
Let's go.
Don't you just mean like LLW light, please?
LW, yeah, LW Junior, whatever you want to call it.
2.0.
All right. I'm going to throw it over to Solomon Khan to get us into our questions for you, Soko.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. First question. Can you talk a little bit about how the transition was between, at least from the first two seasons, seemingly to play through mid to from this last season playing through top?
Yeah. So, well, pretty much, it was. I liked to play mid jungle 2v2 a lot with Storm. Obviously, like those are our strongest points on LW, and so it kind of made sense to just play through them. And if I was more one dimensional and that like I could only do that, I think the transition would have been rough. But I mean, I'm not that bad. So so now our best lanes are top jungle and mid depending on matchup, right? On RMC. So it's a lot easier to play through top when we're also drafting for top too, giving a lot of counter picks. And I'm confident in my champ pool, so I'm able to draft like early in the drafts, and it was a pretty quick adaptation, to be honest. I think our week one loss didn't come from like not playing well through top. It was more just like we didn't have a good game plan, but it was pretty easy to switch, to be honest.
Okay, that's good. And so right into the second question. Why did you decide to main jungle?
Okay, two answers. I got two answers. So the first one was because I couldn't CS like like at all. I was horrible. I sucked at last hitting minions, and I was like, this sucks, bro. Why am I doing this when I can just go into the jungle and just kill monsters? So that's reason one. And reason two is because I went on YouTube, and when I was starting League, and I googled fun League of Legends champions, and the only ones I remember are Thresh. Thresh was there, and Rengar was there, and I was like, dude, this Rengar guy looks cool as hell, and he's a jungler. And then I just saved up. I purchased Rengar with IP at the time, and then I just played jungle. But simple as that. And it's the only role I have fun in now. I actually just don't have fun playing other roles. You guys saw my Gangplank that one time. It was not good.
It was fun.
It was fun. It wasn't good though. I was having fun.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and take it from here real quick, Soko. Got a couple questions for you. Got a three-way question right here. I want to hear from you. In your opinion, what are the top three picks right now in jungle and solo queue? In your opinion, for E League and right now in the meta, what's your top three champs in the jungle?
Okay. This is pretty easy for solo queue, at least I think. So for solo queue, I think the best ones are Rengar, because every game I play, I have a 71% win rate, by the way. Not trying to flex, but like,
Oh shit!
it's so easy to carry right now. It's just so easy for me to carry these games if I get a small lead. So like, Rengar's definitely up there. Kane, because Blue Kane snowballs like crazy, and then Viego, just because if I have to blind pick something, I just pick Viego and just get resets. So okay, that's solo queue. Those three. Now let's see.
Got it.
In the meta, I think Heckram kind of fell out after that nerf, or he's not like at the top right now, but he's still pretty good. I still wouldn't put him at the top though. I think Trundle is pretty good right now just because he's really versatile. Or at least I've seen him be pretty versatile. Trundle, Volibear, and Viego. I think Viego as well. Viego's so OP. He's just been OP for so long. And Volibear, everyone's just playing him with Chem Tank now. I think it's a bad build, but whatever. Everyone thinks it's good. Volibear, Chem Tank, and then Trundle. You can go like 5 mythics on him. So he's
Now
just
I'm gonna
good.
go ahead and ask my boy Solomon Conroe here real quick, since he's a jungle main too. Do you agree with what Soko said? How you feel like that's the champs right now that are popular in the meta right now?
Yeah, for the most part, I think Trundle's a little more situational, just because it kind of depends on matchup. If they don't really have a tank, and the jungler can full clear quicker, then you just get outpaced. But
Then you go Trinity Force.
and then you just beat them.
1v5.
Oh right. That's fair. I haven't been playing too many like solo queue games really, especially in the jungle, because my
I'm
mental's a little
That's
too
good.
weak right now.
Yes.
How they
Cleanse
treat
yourself.
junglers. So
So then I'm gonna go into my second question for you, Soko. I know that
Cool.
you're in another league,
Yep.
and I just want to ask you, what do you want to see be implemented in E League that you see in other leagues that we don't have here?
I think mainly just like a better infrastructure, like more casters or more people dedicated to like do people like say that they're gonna do something, and then since it's not really super serious, they're gonna like procrastinate on it a bit or something. I know there's like a joke where like, oh, the stats are never done updated. Like people always say they'll do the stats, and then the stats are never like organized or between the staff and stuff. So I mean, there's that. Then there's like, I think maybe between teams, the redraft I know was a big point of contention, like whether that was actually like good for the league or not. I mean, having people that are more dedicated to like practicing, I know that's the thing, and it's hard because people have different schedules and stuff. But I don't know how you'd go about that. Personally, I think that's maybe like if a coach was on each team, that would make it easier. Not sure. I think maybe that could help. Just so that there's one person who doesn't actually have to play and can just like do managerial stuff, set up scrims and like draft and stuff. I mean, I know that like maybe like captains could be coaches too. I mean, if they'd rather do that than play, if they're like slightly lower rank and feel like there's someone better that could play in the position that they're currently in, and they could just like be in a coaching position. I think that would be more useful than the sixth like sub member. Doesn't really get used that often, and usually the sub will just gonna be used. And also just the rules getting enforced more in general. I think like a lot of times people don't actually like, or at least from what I saw, there was a couple times when like if the game wasn't streamed, people were way more lenient on stuff, which is fine. But then I don't think it's fair to the people that are playing the streamed games to have like a penalty for like being late or something when they don't give you like, oh, if the other captain's fine with it, then you don't have to forfeit a game for being late when you're off stream. And then like you're on stream and the same thing happens and then you get penalized for it. It's like that's a little weird. I think it should be more consistent just across everything. Like I wouldn't want the enemy team to have to forfeit their first game just because they were on stream, but at the same time, I wouldn't want like someone to feel like they were getting like over like benefited more than like a different team, if that makes sense. So I think that's probably those are the main things.
That's pretty good. I actually agree a lot on those points.
Oh, thanks, AJ.
So, just to kind of touch on one of the things that you brought up real quick. I know that I'm interrupting Asian here, but that is one of the caster point that you brought up is actually a pretty big problem that we're having. Right now, it seems like there's only like 2 or 3 people that consistently step up for casting. So like if people watching this, if you want to cast, feel free to step up and let one of the admins know that you're interested in casting, so that we can get a little more diversity in the casting booth. Gonna throw it back to Asian here.
And all right, got that last question for you, Soko, coming right up. What do you
Let's go.
feel like you need to improve on via comms in your role as jungler on RMC?
I think I can reference our week 1 when I answer this, because like week 1 we lost to, who was it? GCA, right? Yeah, we lost to GCA.
Yep.
And then they put us last in the power rankings. and then we beat LW, who they put first. And I think we like the biggest problem that we had week 1 especially was like we just didn't know where we were gonna like play the game, and we were just drafting comps that looked good, but if we didn't get the leads in the right places, we just fell apart. Like Wyke got ahead mid lane in like it was a 2-0. So Wyke got ahead mid lane both series just by playing like Vigar. I think, but I don't remember who he played game to, but I mean he played Vigar, just scaled, and then we couldn't really do anything. So I, being like the highest rank on my team, especially, I had to like kind of step up that series. I kind of blame myself too, because I was like helping with like drafting the comp, but if it just didn't play to our strengths, So we kind of corrected on that for week 2. I mean, it clearly worked out at least a little bit, where I'm definitely managing the map a bit. Those in LW, I know Ruckus knows that like Storm was kind of overseeing the map as much as he could in LW. So that's pretty much
He
what I had.
oversaw everything. Are you kidding me?
that's pretty much what I kind of had to step up and do. So that's one thing I need to improve on more, because I haven't been in that position where I need to be the one doing it. But I think I'm doing an all right job so far, and it's just down to now like helping the people who are a little less comfortable, like Vacant and Brick in the bot lane, still getting used to each other, and it's up to like me, Nitro, and Mini to kind of make them feel like they're in a good spot, even if they're not in a comfortable matchup. Stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
And I'm going to give it to you, my boy, Nightmare Seda, real quick. And I look forward to playing you next week, Soko.
Oh, I'm playing you?
Yeah.
You're going to have to lose. Unlucky.
Free one. It's Dream Team.
It's a free win.
I go
Week,
cry.
let's go.
So, Soko, you've been touted on this podcast as one of the best supportive junglers in the league. Do you agree with that assessment of your playstyle? That you're more of a supportive jungler, and how do you feel like that fits into the league meta and then the ELU meta in particular?
Yeah, I'm definitely more comfortable playing stuff that can set people up, or at least that's how it. So you see the Rengar in the background, and you're like, "What is this guy talking about?" Like I'm really on carries. I'm not as comfortable, just because I think it's just PTSD from me being like getting ahead in like stealing the enemy junglers' camps and like invading, and then my lanes are losing in solo queue, and I just lose the game because they have like a 15-0 Aurelia. And I realized that like, well, I can't lose if I just get that. This isn't true, but that I was like, if I just play like something that ganks, and I get my team ahead, and I get the carries that are like, because outside the jungle, there are champs that can carry like way harder and way easier just by getting them kills, and they get their items and their spikes, and then like it's GG. So I just can't my Samira Nautilus. I dive tower. They have 3 kills, and now the enemy bot lane just can't play. And I realized that that's like something that I kind of felt better to me to play. I don't know if it's better meta wise. I think it is though. Seeing like a lot of stuff overall, I guess, but in ELU too, a lot of junglers are playing like some supportive stuff. Arctic plays a lot of Lilia, which by itself it does damage, but it's mainly just for the sleep and the setup and the utility it gives. So like even that, like champions that do damage but have setup and utility are pretty big, and I definitely prefer them to carries just because I feel like I can't impact the map as much when I'm on a carry. I know Solomon, you had that Kazakhs game.
Yeah.
Not last week, this week, week 3.
Yes.
And Kazakhs is like crazy. Like that champion is so good when you start snowballing. You're doing great, and then it was just like one bad fight, and they were able to just push it down mid. And so that was like, that's the problem that I ran into whenever I thought of carry junglers, and I was like, well, if it's all up to me, and I just end up like, even if I don't get caught, if like my team gets caught, and now I'm a melee range Kazakhs and they have a Vigar, I just can't do anything here. So I feel like I have more control when I'm going in as like a Jarvan or like a Sejuani, but I can't play that on RMC, because I'm one of the stronger lanes. So that's where I'm actually like pivoting, because my identity so far has been a supportive jungler. I feel like that's what I'm really good at, as well from past seasons. But I think this season I'm gonna have to kind of change that. I played Blue Cane, Jax, and Olaf in the series against LW, and that's stuff like that is stuff that I have to play in this season, at least on RMC. So we'll see if I can switch or expand my identity to not just being supportive, but I feel like that's what I'm best at. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and so you mentioned some other teams and having to shift your playstyle, but what junglers in ELU are you most like worried about going up against, and then what teams in the ELU as a whole are you most kind of worried about matchup wise?
All right, let's see. So I was worried about I was kind of nervous about the LW game because I knew it was gonna be close, because LW is a good team. We got two members right here, Ruques and Solomon.
Hey,
and
yo,
like
what's up?
and like they just that was something I was worried about, because especially playing against Storm when me and him were like had to like play together the last 2 seasons, I was like, how do you play into this guy? But then I remembered that, Storm just always dies when I don't put vision for him. So all I had to do was clear Pixel Brush, and then he's just running it down. And there you go.
Oh my
That's what
god, you knew the strat!
I know it. It's every time he died, he would always go, guys, I need Pixel Vision. Well, if there's no Pixel Vision, what's he gonna do? A little bit of shade here. But I definitely think I honestly don't think I'm like worried about any junglers. I don't think that there's anyone that I'm gonna get gapped against. Like, I think I'm good at mitigating losses, even if it's like a bad matchup and I die level 1 or like level 3 to an invade. I'm like almost certain that it's not like the end of the game, and like it's fine. We can just shift our attention to the other side of the map. But as far as like junglers that I think are like really good, Solomon, obviously. I thought like that series was, especially game 1 too. Nitro was like in shambles, in tears, by the way. The Volador.
Really?
Yeah. I could feel it.
And like that stuff like that is just shows that obviously he's a good player. Seda obviously is the highest ranked, but I am not really worried at all about GCC, if I'm gonna be honest. Or at least when I look at them, I'm not thinking like, oh, this is like such a hard game to win. It's more like, yeah, I guess it'll be close, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lost, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we 2-0'd. So I'm not really worried about young Trendsetter. He hasn't really showed too much from the games I watched from him. He's just kind of done basic stuff. What other junglers? Arctic. I hella respect Arctic. Like from like being a sub and then starting for GCA and just playing like super well. I think I played better than him in our series. Not by much though. Not by much. He obviously his team 2-0'd, so it's clear that he definitely made better. Like his team and him made better plays, but he showed a lot more than I thought he had before. So congrats to Arctic. That was insane. So if we play him in playoffs, definitely Arctic, because I already played Arctic and Solomon. So I can't really say I'm worried about them, but they are great. And then is Sunny jungling for TPP?
Confirmed, yes.
Not at all, dude. Sorry, dude. I just look, Sunny on top lane, godlike. Good job. He's insane. Sunny on jungle, I don't know.
Put a rank on it.
Gold 2 player maybe. I don't want to be mean, but it's just not his role.
Right.
A bit, yeah. I don't think it's ego. I think he just has to be put there on the team. But gold 2s can still win games.
Yeah, we can.
Woo! Comparatively to his current D1, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure he'll do fine. And I don't know who Ref's jungler is.
Isn't that a donut?
Donut.
Oh.
Yeah, donut.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Donut. Dream Team, is it Capic?
Toad
That would
now.
be right.
It's Toad now.
Yep.
To be determined.
Okay, either Toad or Gapic, I'm not concerned about them either. So I guess just Arctic, Solomon, and Trendsetter. Definitely the other. If I'm excluding myself, I'd put those three as the top 3 junglers.
Would you put you at the top if you weren't excluding yourself?
Um,
Tell us how you really feel about this. Come on.
Yeah.
I get
Just for
okay.
real.
All right, I'll give you the rankings. How many teams are there? 7. All right, 7th, Donut.
Ooh.
6th,
I don't know if I put him last.
Toad and Gapic, Toad/Gapic. Maybe those are switched. 6/7, or it could be interchangeable. I haven't. I'm just spitballing here. Sunny 5th. Then we'll do Arctic, Trendsetter, Solomon, me. In ascending order. That's how I would do it. And yeah, I'll switch Donut. Donut is 6th. Gapic/Toad is 7th.
I
Yep.
think season 1 donut is definitely last. Season 3 donut is so much better.
Would you put him above Sunny?
No.
Yeah, I think 6th is. I don't mean to make it seem like he's the worst in the league. I just think he has more that he could be showing.
Yeah, he's shocking improvement from the Iron one trick days.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just like so much, like night and day. Like doesn't even look like the same player. People don't even ban the Iron anymore because he's just got so much other stuff.
Yeah,
Which is one of the great things about the league like this, where you can't like really one trick.
Actually, I'm gonna go on a slight tangent, but Donut, I feel like last season and the season before that, every time he got a lead in the jungle, it seemed like he didn't translate it into anything. He would get kills on like carry like Graves, or he was on like Trundle. I specifically remember Graves' game where he was like 5-0 early game, and then he didn't translate that to anything on the map. Like he didn't get objectives, he didn't shut down any other lanes, and he just kind of farmed and just stayed back and played passive, which I think is okay. But when you're the one who has all the gold on your team, you have to be proactive. And I think he realized that a little bit more this season, and he's definitely making more aggressive plays, which is great to see. So I think he's a lot better than last 2 seasons. I agree.
Yeah, I've played with him last season. He came in for young Trendsetter, which was basically when GCC fell apart last season. So we're just on pins and needles this season to see if he makes it through the whole thing. But I think like that might come from like the non-aggression might come from the fact he was an Iron one trick for so long. But yeah, I agree. A lot better with the aggression and stuff. And last question for you, kind of more of a fun one. Where did you get the name Soko, and when did your brother start going by Mini Soko, and why?
Okay, this is a good question. So Soko comes from my real last name, which is Sokolovic. I'm not afraid to say that. Don't worry, don't dox me. In my language, Soko means hawk. So I was like, this is a cool name. But Soko was taken when I started League. When I started playing League. So oh my god, this name was so cringe. I made the name Soko Warrior.
Hawk
And
Warrior.
it was just Soko Warrior, yeah. And it was like that for a while. And then I was like, I have to change this. This is cringe. And so I tried to get Soko again, and it was still taken by the same guy. And I was like, okay, I'll do Soko with zeros instead of O's. It looked really cringe because it was also all caps, all capitals, capital S, zero, capital K, zero. But it looked better than Soko Warrior. And then I friended the guy. I kept trying to friend request the guy with the name Soko because he doesn't play League, right? And I friend requested him. I'm like, dude, please, you don't play? Can you like change your name? I'll like pay for your name change. I want this name. Like I want it. I want it so bad. He was like, he finally accepted my friend request one day. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, dude, no way, it's happening.
That's so funny.
So that's when I finally got the name. But I've just been using it as a nickname just because it's the first part of my last name. So I've been using that for a while. And my brother would play on my League account when he was younger. And when he first made his own account on something, like when he got like I don't remember how it was or whatever, but when he made his own account, he just was like, well, my brother's Soko, my older brother's Soko, so I'll just go by Mini Soko. That's what he put, and here we
Super
are.
creative.
yeah. Super creative.
So that's so funny that that worked out for you. I've been doing the exact same thing with the guy named Seda for I don't know since like season 3. He plays maybe 2 ARAMs a year and just like resets the name. It's insanely frustrating. But I send him a friend request like every month, trying to get him to add me.
Yeah,
And he won't do it.
I'm hoping for you.
Thanks. It's so funny that worked out because I'm in the same thing. I'm like, listen, I'll pay you for that name. How much like name change plus $30? Like, come
Right?
on, man.
Exactly.
How
Just
much
have
is it worth to you?
The worst part is they have to accept the friend request, right? So
I know.
like they on one of the times they log on, they have to like see it and then be like, "Oh, who's this rando?" And they accept it and then answer your message.
And then be on while you're on.
And then be on when you're on. Exactly. So many things have to go right.
Yeah, it's been years. Not happened, but I'm not losing hope now that I hear that story.
Yeah, you gotta hold out.
I will say Soko Warrior sounds a lot better than my original name, Killerman3773. So
Yo, that is fire. Hold on.
Rest in peace.
I've got that account now.
Literally, so me and him were roommates in college, and I changed my name while we were roommates. And the next day, he goes and creates a new account with that name.
He didn't find out for years.
Yeah,
he
I was trying to get it
didn't
to
tell me
30.
until ever. Yeah, it was at 30, and then he I think he logs on and like adds me as a friend. I'm like, what is this?
No, that's not what happened. We were. I came over and visited you, and we were drunk as hell, and we were gonna get on Smurf accounts, and I was like, "Oh, I've got a level 30 Smurf. Let me get on it real quick." And he was like, and then it was funny because he had tried to go back and get the name a few months later, and saw someone had taken it and didn't think about it.
No way.
I was like,
for like
why
3 or 4 years.
I was like, why somebody choose 3773? Like that's so coincidental.
Yeah.
The enemy.
Little
was so
did
close.
you know.
The enemy was so close this whole time.
Yeah, 3 feet away.
Yeah.
In our tiniest dorm room.
No, I got good news. Seda is available August 7th, 2024.
Thanks. It'll move out. I one time got within 6 months of the name being available, and he played some games.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, it was rough.
So, Soko, since you just put yourself as #1 jungler in the ELU community on this podcast, do you care to dive into your jungle beef with Solomon Khan, considering he got first team All-Pro? And do you feel slighted about that since last season?
Curious. Let's see. I think it was fair, to be honest. I think last season, going back to how I played a lot of supportive stuff, it's definitely not as flashy right? I definitely racked up those assists and stuff, and I died for my mid laner, and it made him look good, but it didn't really show a lot of what, or to the untrained eye, it didn't really seem like
It didn't
like
represent you in the best light.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was like I was fine with it because I wasn't. It's not like the whole season I was gunning to get first team All Pro, and I think Solomon played like crazy well on NYM with with my brother and nobody Toad.
Mudkip?
Hectex.
Hectex, yeah.
Hectex. Yeah, Hectex. Oh, Hectex was crazy too. Yeah, I think it was deserved because Solomon was in a more aggressive role, or he had to be more like proactive with his kills. Rather, he
Right.
didn't have to. If he couldn't he couldn't die and expect someone else to do it. He had to do it himself. Especially within like skirmishes between junglers and finding good gank opportunities. I think it did totally fine. That being said, I think it's hard to compare our two playstyles that season because they were so different. But I was fine with second. So
Yeah, that's really just me trying to stir up some beef between you guys right here.
Solomon is trash. Absolute trash.
I think the main part of that was after right after the regular season when we were at second and you guys had slumped down. I think that was a
Fifth?
We
Yeah.
barely made fifth.
big
Yeah,
part.
fifth.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. Yeah, the team, the like standings was probably also played a part. I did not consider that. You guys are having a breakout season though, so checks out. And then
should got comeback team of the year. I swear.
Yeah, what the heck? From 5th place to finals? They all counted us out.
Okay, so Soko, regarding team synergy, do you feel like everyone on your team is like on the same page when you're getting ready for your week match and game planning? And how much preparation does RMC as a whole put in?
I think we're doing a pretty good job of like laying out what we want, so everyone understands why we're playing what we're playing. Week 1 we didn't, but we made a lot. I think we made like a lot of changes between weeks 1 and 2. We realized why stuff wasn't working, and we talked a lot to. This is also what I touched on earlier when I was like, it's kind of like my job to make sure that Brick and Vacant don't feel like they're like left out to dry in some like unwinnable bot lane. So every time we go into a match or like the days before a match, we don't do a crazy amount of prep like a week before. But we definitely do it enough to where everyone is sufficiently comfortable. I'd say like the day before, 2 days before, like 2 or 3 days before, we play some flexes with stuff that we're thinking of playing, stuff that we think might match up well into the other team, or stuff that we just think works well with how we play. And then the day before / the day of, we're thinking of like actual like stuff that we could ban, 2 or 3 champs for each role that like are gonna achieve the same goal for like the comp that we want to get. And if someone's not comfortable with one of the picks based on like the matchup from what the enemy team picked, then like we'd much rather change that than do like an uncomfortable matchup. Just so that if we have to like concede lane prio in like bot lane, for example, just so we can have Brick or Vacant be on something more comfortable or something safer that they don't feel like they'll have to react on. Or if we're against like a great mid laner, we'd rather pick Nitro something safe, not Fizz, and and just like try not to lose ground there, right? So
yeah, probably not best to first time that on stage, huh?
You know, I was gonna pivot the Fizz into the jungle, but I realized that probably cut our losses.
Well, yeah, I think the changes y'all made was pretty evident because you guys obviously y'all gave us a tough time. You guys beat us, and I think that was especially evident in Game 3 where you guys just absolutely ran over the map, and there wasn't anything we could really do about it.
Yeah, that Kaisa Morgana especially was pretty contested. I think you guys realized that too. It's just easy to play. It scales nicely and it's safe. And I
Yeah.
mean, like we had a game 1. You guys probably realized that. I don't know how the comms were, but you definitely realized it took it R1, R2 next game. And then like we just took it back the game after. So I think that like that was one that's like a perfect example because like when we played Zach Lucian, it was just way harder for Lucian and Zach to like play into Black Shield or stuff like that.
Right.
So having something that's like kind of uncomfortable like that, and then again Fizz in the mid lane into Ahri, even though technically I think it's a winning matchup for Fizz, it's like it's still an aggressive lane, right? And then the rest of that, like I think Jax into like Vi and Warwick is kind of rough. Jax into Ahri is rough. So that whole draft was a little weird, but getting comfortable stuff like split pushers for my brother top, Vigar for Nitro, which we played a lot in like flexes, and then like the Morgana Kaisa, which was contested a lot throughout the match. And then once we did that, everyone knew what they wanted to do, what we were doing. Like we know we're gonna be weak side bot. We're just gonna try and get farm, play safe, and if there's a gank opportunity, we're gonna take it. We're gonna try and stack objectives. We're gonna try and get top to pushed really quick, and then move York out of top. And we're just gonna let mid scale. And once everyone knew that's what they were doing in that game, we were all super comfortable.
Right, and I think it showed.
Yeah, I think especially from week 1, it showed a lot better, and I was really proud of how everyone was doing.
So, Soko, is there any secret sauce in the ELU community you can spill? It could be about anything.
Secret sauce.
Yeah, any secret sauce.
All right. Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
Nitro is not good at Fizz. Second.
Oh,
Sorry.
everybody knew that already, though.
It's a secret. It's a secret.
Love you, Nitro. Hit me up for War Thunder.
And no, he's busy playing Star Wars, Age of Empire, and Crusader Kings 2. So that's just shade. TPP. I know y'all dying to know what happened to TPP. They lost week 1. They didn't have Sunny, their jungler.
Right.
But they seem a little dysfunctional from what I've seen. We tried to scrim them, our team RMC, and Fichi and Sunny just like were radio silent, MIA.
Ooh, detecting a
just
pattern there.
We just kind of waited there, and we were like, okay. And then they were like, yeah, we don't want to hold you any longer. We're like, yeah, it's fine. Not their fault, but it just seems like there's some communication issues from what I saw there. So that's something to look out for in the coming matches. And their mid laner, in week 1 especially, was definitely a weak point. So I mean, we'll have to see if they can try and work around this, improve upon it. But I don't think it's looking too hot for them.
Hey, to be fair, they showed out in 2-0 to TDT.
They did. No shade intended, but TDT is like the practice exam. And then the trial period, you know, and then you get to out of the tutorial, and then you get to level 1, which is like Rev. And you know, we'll see if they can pass. They clearly beat the LW at the beginning. That was like the boss fight at the beginning of Elden Ring, where you're supposed to die, and right, they died, right?
Yeah.
And then they beat the tutorial there with TDT, maybe Rev, maybe then they get to the mini bosses, GCC, and then you know the final boss at the end is going to be RMC, of course, and we'll see if they can.
That's late game boss for TPP.
Yeah, that's the late game boss. We'll see if they can scale hard enough to to conquer that mountain.
Gonna need to put some points into strength, huh?
Rocky Mountain climbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay, so that's just about all my questions for you, Soko. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the floor for any more additional questions from our hosts.
Yeah, so I got one. Have
Go
you
ahead.
seen the Olaf changes?
Is that real? Like that's not real, right?
I'm pretty sure it's real. I mean, I don't know if the numbers
no,
are going to be the same,
there's
but
no way. Like I saw that. My brother's actually the one who was telling me. He was like DMing me. He was like, "Yo, like what is this?" And he just started telling me the changes. And I was like, "Like you're lying. Like this is clearly like an April Fool's joke."
I don't know. I think I think it's legit. I mean, I don't know.
That's just crazy. I just can't fathom. Like you're giving him a shield, armor shred, lifesteal passively, and his ult is indefinitely extendable, and he doesn't lose the passive resists. What is wrong with people? There's no way that's real. It's
Yeah.
a fake. It's a fake notepad. I stand by that. If that's real, that champ is gonna be overpowered as hell. They're gonna nerf it into the ground. It's gonna be unplayable.
That
That's
is
gonna
kind
happen.
of what it sounds like. I mean, he gets a little rough to play at some points, but I don't know. These changes just seem
Yeah.
a little over the
If you-
top.
I mean, if you pick him into the right team comp, like
Yeah.
it's doomed. A shield, like a shield,
Yeah.
like his own shield. Like he doesn't need a karma. He has a shield now. It's so stupid.
Yep. And he doesn't lose his alts
His passive
resistances.
resist,
Yep.
like, just make him tankier. Why not? Like,
Yeah.
I
It's like
think
the only time to kill him before.
yeah, I think it's so silly.
Uncouple
It's
and
silly.
then armor shred. It's just
That's my bet. The best way to put it. It's silly.
Olaf Soko comp incoming.
Olaf.
Prepare yourself, ELU.
yeah.
They'll
Soko
5-man flex that shit.
Soko comp Mach 2.
Oh, welcome back.
Okay.
All right, any more questions before we move on to our clip?
I'll take
All
that
right,
as a no.
so yeah, I'm gonna take that as a no. Thanks for the silence, boys. So Soko, we have a little clip prepared for your viewing pleasure. We're gonna play the clip. There's gonna be audio, but you won't be able to hear it. So we're gonna play it, and I want you to break it down after the clip finishes.
Sure.
It's not going to be great for Soko now as Soko's getting collapsed on. They definitely know he's there. He is going to have to get a kill here, and he will not get the kill, unfortunately. Oh, I was so mistaken. He does get the kill, and a lot of stuff is burnt, and Alawi's there, so that means abort mission. We can't.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, you live there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Why? How come you couldn't play Kane like that season 1?
Oh, you're so
Season
toxic.
2 versus TPP game 1. Why couldn't you do that like that
Because
then?
y'all made me play Rost when Shadow Assassin is clearly better.
Clearly.
That ruined my Urgot coming out party, Soko. Thank
You're
you.
right. That was the debut, and I ruined
Yeah.
it. No, I'll tell you, dude, this was crazy. So we won off this, by the way. And I basically I was coming in. They were all of LW was off reset, and I was like, all right, I can get a pick on whoever comes to catch top wave if I come over here and I sweep it out. And I popped my Oracle when I got to Tribush, and I have no idea how y'all knew I was there. But once I saw I was just sitting around, and I was like, we don't see anyone on the map. I got a little nervous, and I saw the Volibear E coming down in the bush, and I was like, nah, they know I'm in here. And so right before, this is crucial, Storm was about to use his Q on the other side of the bush where the Volibear E wasn't, right? So I was going to get hit, and my Edge of Night shield was going to go down. But I E into the wall right before it hits. So I have my Edge of Night still up. I WQ through Storm. His E doesn't push me back because Edge of Night. So I just procs the Edge of Night. I ult. And then like Blue Cane. And I just flash Q to kill him. And then we get out. But I was 100% certain that there's no vision on me there. And I mean, I guess I was wrong. But after that, I think my comms were just like, oh, he's so upset. He's so mad. Let's go. End the game.
He was a little upsetty spaghetti for sure.
Poor Storm. I'll have to give him a kiss on the forehead next time I see him.
I'm pretty sure he threw out a patented "no way" right there. You know the call.
I do know the call. I know the call very well.
He didn't call you a psychopath though, so
Let's go.
are you really even in his head if he doesn't call you a psychopath?
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to do more psychopathic energy next time we play. Sitting in mid bush for 3 minutes just till he pushes up and then gank him. Yeah, that sounds like something I'll do.
So, Soko, I'm gonna do this on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot right here. Do you have any questions for us? Is there anything you want to ask us?
Yes, I do have a couple.
Okay.
Hazelnut ice cream. Yeah,
Oh my god.
Hazelnut ice cream.
I've never had it personally.
Yeah, same. I never had that type of ice cream.
I don't
Never
think it's
had
real
it.
ice cream.
You're making it up, right?
No, man. Hazelnuts. I just like hazel. All right, that was a flop. Hazelnut ice cream is great. You should try it. Okay.
I'll take your
let's see.
recommendation.
Who where do you think you guys are gonna finish? Specifically, Storm and Solomon for LW
Like
this season.
personal rankings or team ranking?
Team wise, where do you think your team's gonna finish?
That depends on a lot of things. Solomon Khan, do you want to have first crack at this?
Well, we got some things cooking over at LLW right now. So
Oh, things are
we
cooking.
we have a break, I believe, for Easter, and then right after the break, our team has a bye, so we have 2 weeks of no game time. So we'll see what we come out after the break, but we got some we got things going on. We got movements happening.
Oh, what a teaser! Okay.
We're trying to turn around this dumpster fire right now.
All right. What about GCC?
Oh,
Seda.
hold on. I didn't get my shot at this question. I'll make it quick though.
Oh, yeah, true.
I'll agree with Solomon. It really depends on like how these changes go. Like if one thing doesn't work out, it feels pretty doomed. And there are a couple people on the team right now that I feel like are teetering on the edge. So like we really need these changes to come through in a big way to help out mentals. Because like if we can't get these mentals like stabilized, there's no way we're gonna win games. I'll let you continue with your GCC question.
Oh yeah. Well, I know Seda's on GCC, so
Yeah, number one. Or
number one.
Or number two.
Just
Or
wait till
number two.
Trendsetter leaves,
Look at
please.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we have Trendsetter the whole season. If we don't, we will lose to the Dream Team and we will be last place.
Asian. We're trashing. I was trashing on your team earlier. I said you were a tutorial.
It's looking a little bit rough over here. You know, the grass has been a lot greener on the other side. I'm not expecting much, but I'm gonna say my team's kind of last right now.
Last right now. Well, I think that'd be true. And no, that's all. That's all I got. I thought I had one more. I don't.
It's all good. I kind of put you on the spot right there. The fact that you could come up with those right there, I think that's excellent.
I'm glad.
So-
I'm glad I lived up to your expectations, Ruckus.
Of course, that's why we had you on. We knew you'd be a great guest.
Aw.
I think that's gonna just about wrap it up for us. This has been a fantastic episode. I can't thank you enough for coming on, Soko.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, especially we got to play some games last Friday. That was a lot of fun. It was unfortunate. It was. I'm not meaning to bash you. I know that sounds bad because you had an unfortunate game, but it was a lot of fun. It was like old times, honestly.
True, actually. I'll play Gangplank for you again. I promise.
Okay, I'll play Jinx again. So appreciate you being on. Also, I've been meaning to do this the last 2 weeks. I have to give a huge shout out to Solomon Khan and Nightmare Seda. Solomon Khan has been the one doing like all the background work, putting together the wonderful display and making sure all the audios are synced up and everything works well. He's really put down the groundwork for this podcast, and I really appreciate it. And Nightmare Seda has been going through and editing every single episode, putting in huge works behind the scenes. Both of these guys, I really appreciate it from both of you.
Guess I'll keep doing it now.
That's all he needed.
We also got to shout out Ruckus for he was the start of it all. Came up with the idea for doing all of this. So That's all.
It was just this. It was just the spark, but you guys agreeing to do this and us being staying committed to it for 3 weeks has been huge. I couldn't do it without you guys. I couldn't. So
This
I
is
really
beautiful,
appreciate
guys.
doing this with my friends. Getting all sappy here at the end. Soko's like, "Where's the door?"
Yeah, I'm out.
Appreciate it so much, Soko. And thank you everyone for watching the SIRS podcast. We're here spearheading the ELU mayhem and bringing you guys up close and personal deep dives with our guests with light hearts and extra sauce. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.